First of all, أنا المدير الشريك في شركة Diyar. I've been in this position for about 7 to 8 years. First was a long series of training. See a lot of friendly faces, so that's obviously good to see. So we're here to discuss some trends we've seen in the region. من خبرتنا, طبعا we've been working in the region since 1980. Now we're expanded outside of the region completely. We have a good repository of knowledge. We've seen a lot. وبنفس الوقت I'll be using some online resources, and I'll try to maintain the English-Arabic thing that's going on. I don't speak Turkish yet, but maybe by the end of the day I will. So, before we begin, a bit of a history on Diyar's relationship with Microsoft. It began about 26 years ago. So you're thinking, طب, how 26 years? The Microsoft, على Kuwait 25 years ago. Yes, that's correct. It began 26 years ago. And we have a good amount of history. It's there. We have a lot of key points to a point where we dedicated a unit, and this was about 15 years ago, actually. Okay. Also, we've gotten plenty of Partner of the Year awards in Kuwait, but I want to bring our attention to two specific discussions. Okay. So this is an independent study done by Redmond. They measure Microsoft most competent partners. With the most Microsoft competencies. I'm sure everyone at Microsoft remembers the traditional or older way of doing things. For others, Microsoft used to measure its partners based off competencies, gold and silver competencies. You'll notice some popular names, put them on there. But you might notice something else, that Kuwait's on the list. شركة Diyar in year 2012, this was over 10 years ago, was able to put itself at least on the same page as international giants, and we were very proud to put Kuwait there. Forward a couple of years, you'll notice similar giants moving up, down, left to right, and similar to us, we also moved up heavily. And notice, يعني الأمريكان ما يقصرون, they took out second place because two are tied for first as well. Okay? فالحمدلله, we're very proud of moments like this in our past. But what's happened since then? You've probably seen this slide or this version of a slide many times, and the model has slightly changed. Okay, and we feel we've heavily invested in Microsoft technologies over the years, and we feel very confident, especially with our track record with working with Microsoft technologies, to implement and have implemented a good amount. Let's begin. What are some trends in the region? This is an article from an organization called BCG. طبعا the sources you will find, the presentation can be shared if needed, من 2022. They're focusing on three main trends, and I'm trying to summarize the article just to deliver the value here. And from our experience, we felt maybe this is worth sharing to this kind of audience. Okay? First trend in the region, restructuring of key public sector authorities. Do we see this? Right? To allow what? Digital focus. Now this is a vague term, but I think we're all feeling it. ماكو ولا جهة الحين that's working, that's not touching a form of technology. ثاني شيء, centralized regulation of digital transformation efforts on a national level. Do we see this? You can nod or not nod, or as you like. وثالث, to me it's personal, or at least it hits personally, enhancing or harmonizing the experience and services to offer better government to citizen experience. This Boston consulting group actually uses the example of Sahel. Keep in mind, Sahel ثمرة من ثمرات نجاح الاهتمام في government to citizen experience. And there are many more, like Hawiyati and so forth. So, what do we feel? What do we hear? This is all captured in a question that we receive and we ask all the time. How does the user experience this? Now the user is no longer a person far away. You're the user, and so are they. So we are very user-centric. We're becoming a value-driven based industry, and this is something we see. Okay? We notice there's heavy investment in the region. There's heavy attention towards this growth. And ليش سؤال على السريع ليش why is the vision not vision March 21st 2023 لأنه we all know it's a journey and things take time to come to fruition, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. Okay, so what are some challenges? Seems very simple, صح? Why isn't it as smooth as we perceive it to be? So these are some execution challenges that I've worded on the side from the article as well. These you'll find to be common factors in the previous presentations as well. Change management. You're talking whether it's legacy mentalities or legacy technologies. You're talking accessing or maintaining digital talent. Adaptation to the agile mindset and effective monitoring of progress. All of these things جدا طبيعي. These are innate, natural challenges. In addition, maybe let's say another perspective or deeper understanding these challenges, we think ROI, return on investment. I'm paying money, will it deliver? You think the world is extremely fast-paced. By the time an undergraduate enters into a technology-related field, by the time they graduate 4 years later, you get something like ChatGPT that takes away your potential jobs. So the world is extremely fast-paced. And keep in mind, a lot of times we're trying to satisfy the needs of yesterday rather than the needs of tomorrow. Third is the paradox of choice. This is the English version of إذا تبي تحيرة خيرة. Okay, you have so many options. Everyone's trying to position themselves. Even within the same area or sector of business, you have so many options. وطبعا increased competitiveness. This is between countries, between companies, between people, and this obviously has an effect, especially when you're trying to bring in a new change. But what happened to them? So you'll notice that cloud situates itself as a service model that actually naturally kind of satisfies these main concerns, right? And no longer, you don't need a huge amount of capital expense to invest in a local infrastructure method. So cloud situated itself in a very powerful way. But how powerful? What's going on with the cloud? Okay, these are statistics from the world. Please note the date, okay? And the dates are a bit all over the place. By 2021, 95% of the enterprises on this planet at least utilize some form of cloud. 95%, that's a big amount. Secondly, I'm going to bring your attention down to the 59 zettabytes stored in 2020. One zettabyte is about 1 billion terabytes, okay? ونورس إن بعد 5 سنوات they expect this number to basically over triple. So if you graph this, it's an exponential growth of the amount that cloud will be utilized. So what about Azure? Well, we know Azure is popular among the Fortune 500. If you take a moment right now to Google Azure Fortune 500 or Microsoft Cloud Fortune 500, you'll find some articles saying 75% utilize Azure. Some say 60, some say أكثر. We say that it's popular, okay? And as we discussed, keep your mind on the challenges, okay? These are the 4 pillars. And if you notice, they naturally speak to address these challenges. And this is why it's become an attractive product today. So what's our role as a company? We try to help in any and all stages, depending on what your needs are. We know it's not easy. We want to do the heavy lifting for you. We try to utilize the best technologies to do so. Okay, but when it comes from an overall vision, or let's say it's just architecture and design, we're there to support you. Okay, and then we do implementations, depending on your preferences, how you see the world, how you see your needs, we'll be able to fill that gap and support you. And after, we don't just leave, we're there to help. And this is a reiterative cycle, again, because it's a journey, not anything else, okay? And throughout all stages, cybersecurity must be practiced. Whether it's measuring your current vulnerabilities, whether it's maintaining certain procedures or processes, whether it's utilizing the correct technologies in the correct way. Sometimes the product is not enough on its own. It needs to be utilized in the correct way. So that's my advice here, is to try and utilize it as correctly as possible. And of course, this can all plug into the national ecosystem that Dr. Ammar is discussing, من سهل هويتي. You're talking a national digital ecosystem from identity and so forth, that you can actually deliver more value to the citizen or the person that lives in Kuwait. Okay? This has been discussed already. I'm going to go quickly through it, but these are some of Microsoft's tools if it hasn't been discussed. So if you remember the challenges, we're there to help you overcome it. That is our role, and I hope I didn't waste too much of your time. Tried to be as efficient as possible, and thank you very much.